Hello. This is the second video in a series on how to use Google Forms to create class assessments, like a quiz or a test, or maybe even just a classwork assignment. So I'm here in my water cycle quiz. I've added all of my questions. I've got some multiple choice. I've got some choose from a list. I've got some short answer where they're going to label a diagram. So I've created my entire quiz. I've got all the settings just the way I want it. That was all explained in the first video in this series. So this video, we're going to talk about how do we share this quiz out with our students and get them to complete the quiz, and then how do we find their answers, their responses as they have come in. So here I'm on my quiz editor, the same place I went to create these questions, and I can click on this little button that says View Live Form to see the finished version of my quiz. Now you can take this URL straight from here, and this could be what you share out with your students because it's taking them to the live form of the quiz. I'm going to close this tab. You do not want to give them the URL of your editing phase, when you're in the editor of your quiz. You don't want to give them that URL. So you want to make sure you're sending them the right URL. If I click the blue Send Form button, it's in the same location and looks the same as the share button when we're in other Google apps. It's going to show me the correct link to share out with my students. I can also check this little box to get a shortened version of that form URL as well. This is what I want to share out with my students. Now, if you wanted to add a collaborator, maybe you have another teacher that you work with and you wanted them to be able to edit the questions or help you build this quiz to start with, you could add collaborators. If you click here, then it'll give you a place to add in email addresses and share that and have collaboration with another teacher. But that's not where you want to go to share it with your students. So again, we're going to click on Send Form. We're going to copy this URL to our clipboard. Okay, so once I have that copied, I can come over here to Google Classroom or whatever classroom management program you are using. I'm going to come here to the plus, and I can send this out as an assignment with a due date. Or I could just post it as an announcement, however you want to issue that. I'm just going to do an announcement in this case. Okay, so here's my announcement. I'm going to say something like, please take this quiz. Now here's one important thing for you to understand. Even though my form is saved in Google Drive, I don't want to go to Drive to attach it for the students. I want to send them a link. Forms work a little differently than other Google apps. So if I go here to Drive and I find my form and try to attach it, it's going to pop up a red warning that says you can't attach a form because you're sending them the wrong thing. So we need to put it in as a link. So I'm going to click on Attach Link. And I'm going to paste my URL that I copied. You do need to click this Add button before you click Post. So I'm going to click Add. Okay, and if I want to send this to multiple classes, I can check off multiple classes. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and post that to my class. So right here it tells them to take their quiz and it gives them a link to it. The students will come here, they'll click on that link, and it will take them to the live form of the quiz where they can submit their responses. Okay, so next thing is, where do these responses go and how do I find them as the teacher? So when the student completes all these questions and clicks Submit, the responses go into a Google spreadsheet that is automatically created. If I come back here to my form, right here is a button that says View Responses. If I click that button, it's going to open up a Google spreadsheet that was automatically created for me. It'll have the exact same title as my form, except it has in parentheses after it responses. And it's just a Google spreadsheet. So here's my timestamp column. I chose to collect their username, so it automatically created a field that their email addresses will go into. And then all of their responses will show up here. So give me just a minute. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to fill in some responses. Ta-da! Okay, we're back, and you can see that I now have 10 responses filled in the form. So as the students have taken the quiz, it's time-stamped it, it's collected their usernames, and then all of their responses are showing across here. Okay, now again, to find this collection of the spreadsheet with their responses in it, there's a couple different ways you can get there. Let me close this tab. From my quiz form, you can click on View Responses, and that'll just automatically open up that spreadsheet. I could also come here to Drive and search for it. So you can see, actually I've done this a few different times. You can see that I've got water cycle quiz responses. It's actually this one. And I can find it there in my Drive as well. Okay, so that's how you would get to the responses. Now the last step is using a Google add-on called Flubaroo to actually grade this for you. It's a wonderful, really slick tool, and my last and final video in this series will show you how to do that.